It might be simply that you just want to do too much. When we get the feeling that we don't have enough time, that means, and if you're working productively and you're actually working your butt off, that means that it's not a matter of time. It's not that you don't have enough time. It's that you're doing too much or that you're wanting to do too much. Time to go to the drawing board and write down the things that you got done and the things that you didn't get done. And then see if what you did get done was important enough and the things that you didn't get done weren't important. If it's the other way around, we have a priority problem. When you get the notion that you didn't get enough done, it can be a sign that we're spending too much time on things that are not really important, because otherwise you wouldn't get the feeling that you're not doing enough. It's just check on the level of importance, not urgency, importance, and then check the urgency. If you've been putting out fires all day long because everything was urgent, then we can take a look at, was it really important and necessary, or was it just urgent? There's a lot of things that we do that are apparently urgent that really don't matter, but we still account them as done. That means that we're using time for things that don't need to be done by us, and that time we lack for the other stuff. That's where our subconscious says, I'm not doing enough, or that I don't have enough time. We have to take a look at what are we really doing. Write down the things that you feel that you haven't done, compare them with what you've done, and then make a decision, an assessment. Were those things that I didn't do really important? Then forget them, because that's good for our conscience. Otherwise, we'll feel we have a bad conscience. And if you feel that all what you've done isn't important enough, try doing less of that and more of the other. Because the only way to get more time is doing less and also structuring the work a little bit better. I wrote an article today for Innovia, and I shared it also on LinkedIn about workload and productivity. A lot of times we are not as productive as we can be, or we don't take as much advantage of time because we switch tasks a lot. We start a task and then we go to another one without finishing them. Every time we switch from one task to another, we lose precious time. We don't get the feeling that we lose time because we're actually being productive, but it takes us longer because the ramp up time, every time we stop something and then we start again, it adds up. So switching tasks unnecessarily too often is a time robber. Not switching tasks enough is also a time robber. If you're constantly only doing one thing, your productivity will drop. So that means establish specific times for batch working. For example, emails is a classic. I only work my emails once or twice a day. Let's say 3 times, depending on the load of emails that you have. That's in the morning, I do a quick check. What do I have? It takes me about 10 or 15 minutes because I know that later on, last thing I do either before lunch or right after lunch is I answer reply to those emails, unless there was an urgent one. When I screen my emails, and that's something that you can do with, you'll probably do it with all your work. I screen for the importance and the urgency of the matter, and I only attend the urgent and the important, or I schedule. I say, okay, these 3 acknowledged, they're gone, archive, and these other ones, I'll do them at 12 o'clock. Then I do all of them. And that way I can forget about the emails for the next 4, 5, 6 hours.